Love is in the air with the Valentine's Day event, and today we're running through all the tips and tricks you could possibly know for this upcoming event. Let's get into it. So this event's going down February 8th, 10 a.m. to February 14th, 8 p.m. all local time. Bonuses will be 2x stars from opening gifts and 2-hour lure modules. There'll also be 3 bonuses you can choose from based on the research, which we'll get into in a bit. During the event, you can evolve Curlias into Gallades or Gardevoirs that will know the legacy move Synchronize. Also, any Gardevoir or Gallade encountered during the event will already know this move. There'll also be a global Valentine's Day challenge from February 7th to February 14th, in which trainers around the world need to send a total of 100 million gifts. If we complete this, we will unlock 3x transfer candy as well as 2x transfer candy XL for the remainder of the event. I believe that means you get 2 XL candies every time you transfer away a Pokemon if you get the XL candy on the Pokemon, since you're not always guaranteed to get an XL. You'll also be able to form change natural form Furfrou into the Heart form, which is a Valentine's Day exclusive. While sponsoring the event will be Nidoran male, Nidoran female, Skitty, Volbeat, Illumise, Woobat, Frillish, all 5 forms of Flabebe, Furfrou, Morlul, Chansey, Audino, and Melomomola. 7-kilometer eggs during the event will be hatching Lickitung, Smoochum, Happiny, Frillish in both forms, and Melomomola. Note Frillishes from eggs have a higher shiny rate than ones caught in the wild or in research. 1-star rates will be Chansey, Shinx, Furfrou, and Esper. 3 stars will be Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Lickitung, Miltank, and Gallade. 5 stars will be Tapu Lele and Mega Raids, of course, the new Mega Gardevoir. There'll also be avatar items you can buy in the shop. You can check them on screen, as well as stickers you can get from spinning Pokestops, opening gifts, and purchasing them in the in-game shop. At Pokestops, you can find the task, make 5 great curveball throws in a row for a Spinda with the hard pattern, spin 5 Pokestops or gyms for a Hippotas or a Litleo, spin 10 Pokestops or gyms for a Lomomola, a Chansey, or an Audino, send 3 gifts and add a sticker to each for a Luvdisc, open 5 gifts for a Combi or a Morlul, earn 3 hearts with your buddy for a Pikachu, an Eevee, or a Ralts, and earn 10 hearts with your buddy for Frillish. Now, I do want to note, Combi gets you more Stardust as well as Morlul as well as Audino. So if you complete the open 5 gifts task, make sure you actually run from them, throw them in your stack task, and hold onto those Pokemon encounters until double or triple catch Stardust events to catch them then and multiply your Stardust gains. Instead of just getting the regular 500, you'd be getting like 1500 during a triple Stardust event. Now, there'll also be a timed research called Lovely Wishes. Again, it's gonna be one of those choose one of the 3 bonuses timed research. Nonetheless, though, the first page for all of them are going to be on screen. Catch 5 Pokemon, spin 3 stops, power up 5 times. Everyone's gonna get the same thing. They don't have the option to go with the catching Pokemon page. As you can see on screen, the tasks are pretty much focused around catch Pokemon, earning XP, etc. And also, if you choose this path, you will get 2x catch XP for the remainder of the event. You could also go with the daily adventure incense path. On screen are going to be the tasks generally focused around, using the daily adventure incense. And if you do choose this path, you will get 30-minute daily adventure incense instead of the regular 15 until the end of the event. Finally, if you don't like any of the other 2, you can choose the Pokemon candy path, focused around using Pineapple berries. You can see all the tasks on screen for this one. And of course, you'll get 2x catch candy for the rest of the event if you choose this path. Honestly, not really sure which one's the best here. If you need XP, go with the XP one. I guess if you want more candy, go with the candy one. If you want a Glaring Bird, go with the 30-minute one. I'll probably go with the daily adventure incense one, but let me know in the comment section below which one you'll be going with. Finally, there'll be a Luvdisc Research Day, February 11th, 2 to 5 p.m. So like a mini event in this event. During that research day, every single field research task will give you encounters with Luvdisc, in which Luvdisc will have a shiny rate of 1 in 10. Also, we'll have different wild spawns during that specific time frame, in which Slowpoke, Lickitung, Miltank, Lileep, Phoebus, Spritzee, Fomantis, and Lomomola are all going to be spawning in the wild for that research day. With the event details out of the way, let's get right into the tips, starting with, of course, what are the best wild spawns to go after during this event. First of all, we're gonna have Frillish in the wild. Frillish, of course, evolves into Jellicent, in which Jellicent is good in the Great League and the Ultra League. Not a bad PvP Pokemon right there. You also see Flabebe in there. Any form of Flabebe evolves all the way into Florges, in which Florges is not a bad Ultra League Pokemon and not a bad Master League Pokemon, specifically good in the Master League Premier Cup. We also have Morlul in there, which I believe Morlul gets you a base 500 Stardust, so boosted Stardust on that catch. So if you see those in the wild, just catch them, they get you more Stardust. Chansey is also in there. Chansey is good in some limited Great League metas like the Love Cup, as well as Chansey and its evolution Blissey being very good gym defenders, so very good Pokemon to throw into gyms to defend it to get your coins. We also have Audino in there. Audino gets you boosted Stardust, specifically 2100 Stardust every time you catch it. So if you see Audinos in the wild, make sure you catch them. They're pretty hard to catch, so you're gonna have to use Golden Raspberries and probably Ultra Balls. Finally, a Lomomola in there, which is good in some limited metas like the Love Cup and other metas. This is the time to get it since it's spawning in the wild. Now let's talk about raids. What's gonna be good in the raids? Starting with the 1-stars, of course, we already talked about Chansey, but we also have Shinx in there. Shinx evolves into Luxray, in which Luxray is not a bad electric type raid attacker, as well as not terrible in the Great League. In the 3-star raids, we're going to be seeing Lickitung in there. Lickitung is one of the best safe swaps in the Great League. However, you do need XL candies for it. This is a great time to grind XL candies through those 3-star raids for this Pokemon. Also, the evolution Licky is not terrible in the Ultra League. We also have Miltank in there, which Miltank with the recent move update, not a bad Great League Pokemon. And finally, Gallade in there, which Gallade does have Mega Mega Gallade in the future, so it's not a bad Pokemon to grab there, as well as Gallade being not a terrible Ultra League Pokemon, but of course you won't get the PvP IVs from the raids. In the 5 stars, we have Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele is a decent Psychic type raid attacker, you could say. However, there's things like Alakazam and Mewtwo and stuff that's just way better than it. And other than that, Tapu Lele is not very good. So honestly, I would kind of avoid the Tapu Lele raids unless you want that new shiny, since this is a new shiny during the event. But just note, in terms of meta relevance, you're not getting much from Tapu Lele. But in the Mega raids, you do have Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir is going to be the new Mega, in which it is the best Fairy type raid attacker in the game and probably will be forever, as well as a decent Psychic type raid attacker. I could also see this Pokemon having some play in the Mega Master League when it does come around with that heavy charm damage, and it'll be a pretty good counter to Mega Gyarados. Final thing I do want to know quickly is that you do get Synchronize on the Gardevoirs and Gallades you catch from the raids, as well as any you evolve. People probably wonder if this move is any good, but no, Synchronize is not a move you want on Gardevoir or Gallade. It is a terrible legacy move. It is not a move you want to run on these Pokemon, so really you can just skip the Synchronize legacy move, and if you get it, just TM it away when it comes time. Now we do have 7-kilometer eggs during the event, so let's take a quick look at, are these eggs really going to be worth getting? And honestly, they're not the worst. In the 7-kilometer eggs, we have Lickitung, which we talked about it being good. We have Happiny, which evolves into Chansey, which we talked about that Pokemon being good. And we have Frillish, which we talked about that Pokemon being good. Also, all those 3 Pokemon there, you want XL candies for, and eggs are a great way to grind them. So honestly, you have a pretty high chance of hatching those Pokemon, since the other 2 hatches are Smoochum and Alomomola, so they're not the worst to go after. Now, this event seems to be very candy focused. I don't know why there's a lot of candy bonuses going down, so I do want to talk about how to grind a lot of candy during this event. First of all, use Pineapple Berries, of course. Regulars will multiplier catch candy by 2, and silvers by 2.33. You can also Mega Evolve during the event. When you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, any Pokemon you catch that's the same type as that Mega, you'll get extra candy, and it'll be more or less depending on the Mega level of that Mega you Mega Evolve. What type of Mega should you evolve during the event? I would say probably a Fairy type Mega. A lot of good Fairy type Pokemon spawning in the wild, like Flabebe, which is not bad to get XL candies for, as well as the Gardevoir. So you can Mega Evolve a Mega Altaria if you'd like. Obviously, you can't Mega Evolve the Gardevoir because it won't be a really high level since it just released. Second option would be to Mega Evolve a normal type Mega. We do have a decent amount of meta relevant normal types. I put them on screen. So Mega Evolving a normal type Pokemon is not the worst. So yeah, I'd go with either a Fairy or a normal type. Personally, I think I'm gonna be going with the Fairy type, but let me know in the comments what you'll be going with. You can also trade during the event. It is still the season of Mythical Wishes. We have about a month left of guaranteed XL candy from trading away Pokemon. So make sure every single day you trade away Pokemon, because every Pokemon you trade away, you'll get a guaranteed XL candy for. So catch a bunch of Lickitungs during this event, trade them away, you get a bunch of XL candies to invest into a Great League Lickitung. Finally, transferring Pokemon, and specifically transferring Pokemon during this event. Of course, when we do hit 100 million gifts sent, which I have no doubt in my mind we'll complete it, we always complete these things, we will unlock 3 times transfer candy and 2 times XL transfer candy, which is a bonus we haven't seen since Shinx Community Day in November of 2020. Any Pokemon you catch during this event that are meta relevant with XL candies, like the Lickitung we talked about, like the Chansey, like the Frillish, all that stuff, transfer them during this event when that bonus goes live. Also, if you've been saving on to any Pokemon, make sure you transfer them. I'll link below my video, which is a recent video I put out on how to clear your storage. I really recommend doing a deep dive into your storage, even going into legendary Pokemon and just doing a good clean out during this event, because you can get a lot of extra XL candies for transferring these Pokemon. Finally, if you have any Shadow Beldums or any Shadow Pokemon that you want XL candies for, remember to purify them before you transfer them. Purifying Pokemon will actually bring them up to level 25, and the higher level the Pokemon is when you transfer it, the higher chance you have of dropping an XL candy. Any Shadow Beldums you have, any Shadow Bagons you might have, I don't know, any Pokemon that you plan on transferring away and getting rid of, might as well purify them before you transfer them, because that increases the chance of getting XL candies. Now, the research day, of course, is going to be this weekend, February 11th, 2 to 5 p.m. So I do want to quickly run through some tips for this event. First of all, people are going to ask, is Luvdisc any good in Pokemon Go? And unfortunately, no. This is kind of a research day that's just there for the shiny if you don't have shiny Luvdisc. But I have heard people thinking that potentially in a future game, we could get an evolution of Luvdisc. I don't see why not. And then maybe that evolution will come to Pokemon Go. That's probably very far down the line. But if you get a good IV Luvdisc during the research day, might as well keep it, because, you know, we could get an evolution. However, we do have some exclusive wild spawners in the event. So let's quickly run through which ones are going to be the best. Slowpoke is a wild spawn during that event. Of course, Slowpoke evolves into Slowbro, in which Slowbro does have Mega Slowbro. So if you need a good IV Slowpoke, go after it during the event. We have the Lickitung in there. We already talked about Lickitung being very good in the Great League. We have the Miltank in there. We already talked about Miltank being not bad in the Great League. We have Lileep in there, which evolves into Credilli. Credilli does have some play in some limited cups, like the Weather Cup, I believe. I remember it being very good in the Ultra League Weather Cup. Finally, we have a Alomomola in there, which we talked about being pretty good in the Love Cup. Yeah, honestly, this research day is a very interesting one. I don't know how much I'll be playing it, because it is just a Luvdisc, but let me know how much you'll be playing. Finally, let's talk about some Platinum Medal tips. You need 35 Platinum Medals to go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. Which one should you be going after during this event? Of course, we have Fairy spawns during the event, so catch 2,500 Fairy type medals. The Fairy Tail Girl, not a bad one to go after, as well as the normal medal, you know, School Kid, and the Psychic medal, you know, catch 2,500 Psychic types. Any Pokemon you see spawning in the wild that have a type of a medal that you haven't completed, catch those. We also have 2-hour lure modules, so the Picnicker medal, use a lure module to help any trainer catch 2,500 Pokemon. Make sure you're throwing down those lures, especially since they're 2 hours, as more people will be catching Pokemon spawn off your lures, helping you to complete this medal. Lures I recommend dropping right now, there's really nothing that really relates to the spawns that we see. So I think any sort of premium lure, anything but the purple lure, will increase the spawn rate and lead to more people catching. We have the Pikachu fan medal, catch 1,000 Pikachus. Of course, Pikachu is in the field research task. So if you're going to be grinding a bunch of those, that can help you towards this medal if you haven't completed it. And finally, the Rising Star medal, defeat 150 species Pokemon in raids. Take a look at the raid roster during this event. If there's any Pokemon in here that you haven't raided at least once, any species you haven't raided at least once, make sure you do those raids to get a point towards this medal. Don't think I've ever raided a Nidoking, so I'm probably going to be doing one of those raids. With that being said though, that is pretty much the video, guys. Those are my tips for the Valentine's Day event. Let me know in the comment section below if I missed any, and share any other tips that might help other trainers your event. And also go take a scroll down. Go take a scroll down there and see if there's something else down there that might be able to help you out. That's it for me though, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Spend time with some loved ones. We'll see you on the next one. Fall from Tips. Peace.